Hello, excuse me. Hello, my name's Keith and I'm recently retired. And I'm going to say welcome to my channel. And I say that with such a degree of certainty because this is my first video for my brand new YouTube channel. So it's the only time I'm absolutely certain that I can say welcome and not welcome back. So again, welcome to Recently Retired. That's me. I am recently retired. I think perhaps 3 months in now, something like that. And I'm going to talk to you about how I got here, what planning I made for it, how things are panning out, my life when I'm in retirement, and I hope that it will be informative. It'll help some of you who are coming up to retirement, some of you who are in retirement, and even the kids who are only 50 odd might be thinking about doing an early retirement. So some of the things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how I prepared for retirement, and I'm going to touch on things like finances. I'm going to touch on things like hobbies, so how to fill your time in, because this needed quite a bit of pre-planning in my case, but if I flag it up, it means that at least you'll be forewarned. Now, when people think about retirement, certainly when I thought about retirement, the first thing was, well, I won't be making a salary anymore. How on earth am I going to live if I don't make any money? But of course, that's the whole point of your pension, and perhaps earning a little bit with side hustles, etc. And I'll pick those up. I'll talk about those later on. But before I talk about finances in retirement, I will point out immediately that I'm retired and I'm living it, and everything I say is true from my point of view. But I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not. I don't work for a bank. I don't give advice. So anything you hear me say, please, you can take it that from my point of view, I'm 100% true. But just forget it as easily as you remember it. You really do not need to take this as financial advice. My wife would certainly say she wouldn't. So that's a good place to start. So where do you start thinking about the financial aspects of retirement? I was thinking about this the other day when I was imagining what I was going to say to you today. And to be honest, you start thinking about your retirement the first time you pay any money into a pension, be that private or state. And I suppose another caveat here is I'm talking only from the perspective of the UK and in my case England. If things are different in Scotland or Wales or outside of the UK, then obviously you need to check that out for yourself. So yes, you start preparing for retirement. In my case, I was 16 when I made my first pay packet. And the minute that there's off-takes, as we call them, or paying your stamp, people my age will now be going, oh, right, this is good. He's talking my language. I think I'll stay on here. Yeah, so the first time that happens, that's the first time really that you're preparing for retirement. And the older you get, the more important it is, and the more smug you feel when you look back at that teenage you who didn't give a second thought to a saving for retirement. It was just something that came out of your salary. But then it begins to build up and you begin to look forward to it as the years go by. So a little bit about, certainly UK, about my pension, let me say, because there are three major sort of different types of pension in the UK. And when I see people on Facebook discussing these, it's amazing how many people don't quite get it. And that's an amazing thing for me to say, because 5 years ago, I didn't get it. I wasn't entirely sure how you went about the state pension, what was a defined benefit, what was a money purchase, etc., etc. I'll go very slowly, and I'll tell you that there are three major different types of pension here in the UK. Not all of them are available to everyone universally, and I say that knowing that the state pension, you have to have a certain number of years of contributions. Contributions being national insurance contributions, which are paid by yourself, NICs, national insurance contributions, and that's the sort of 10%-ish that they take off your salary, and it just goes off. But also there's the employer's national insurance contributions. And those two are added together. There's various tax efficiencies, etc. You build up a pot, and that pot comes to you at a time in your life, which is variable, but it comes to you at a time in your life when you choose to take it in some way. I understand, and again, if you know better than I understand you can take your pension early if you have certain health conditions, which might be life limiting. I was able to take my pension at 66, although I started paying into it under the understanding I would get it at 65. And my wife started paying into hers on the understanding that she could get it at 60, although she didn't actually pick hers up until she was 66, I believe, as well. So that's the state pension. You start paying into it as soon as you start getting a wage, or, again, nothing's black and white in this world, is it? Because I'm sure you could be working cash in hand, you could be working self-employed. There are lots of ways that what I say isn't, as I say, totally black and white, but you'll understand what I'm getting at, because for the majority of people, that's how you begin to pay into your state pension.